What are they trying to do right now?
Well, talking to Coach Christy Curry this morning, she said, hey, we don't want to play on the first day of the tournament. We want
the
one
SEC
bye.
Tournament.
Yes, the SEC tournament. We want one bye. We don't want to have to play on the first night. And I was talking to her about how crucial that is for legs. When you have to play 5 games in the SEC tournament, getting 1 game off is huge.
That tournament's right around the corner. Again, the top 4 seeds get a double bye. Alabama is in white with the basketball in the opening possession. This is Abrams who's stopped. Georgia, very good defensive team. The shot clock is down to 5 on this opening possession. And running through the lane and scooping it up and in is Sierra Johnson, the player you just talked about, Blair.
She's so dangerous, and she has such a quick first step. If you're not on top of her defensively from the start, she's already beat you.
Little issue with the shot clock. And they're going to take a look at that. Our officials, Denise Brooks, Gina Cross, and Angelica Suffren. And there's a look at Karen Lang, who is filling in for Joni Taylor. Of course, Joni Taylor giving birth on Tuesday, and Karen was brought into the program by Joni with the idea that if Joni could not coach, Karen would step right in and fill her shoes effectively, and she's done that. She's 6-2 over the course of her career coaching Georgia when Joni Taylor has been out. And I love the mantra that Karen was telling us today, that Joni brought in a staff with one voice. So there's no change in perspective or direction regardless of who's coaching when Joni is out. And there's Connolly making both coaches very proud with that jumper.
Connolly's one guard that Coach Karen Lang said they had to get going early on. When she has confidence, and then you have Taja Cole setting the pressure and the standard up at the point guard, she said that sets the tone for her entire team.
Joni Taylor, the Georgia head coach. Oh, contact after Cole caught that, and up under her was Johnson. But Karen was saying earlier today that Joni Taylor, you know, she was a big deal here at Alabama. Joni Taylor played here at Alabama, and a lot of people are obviously watching Joni and what she's been going through this week, giving birth to her second child. Karen Lang played at Iowa, was on a Final Four team. Robinson wide open in the post. Good hands on the defensive side, though, by Copeland. And a steal. Georgia, one of the best teams in the league, stealing the basketball. And Cole takes it coast to coast.
The speed that Taja Cole plays with. I was talking to Coach Karen Lang this morning about it, and she said that is her motor 24/7. She's like that in practice, and that's why she's like that in games for 40 minutes.
They force it inside. That's one of the things Robinson does best. Block shot. She's one of the best shot blockers in the history of this program. 1 on the shot clock, and it did not hit the rim, so Georgia will take over. But another good defensive possession by the Lady Bulldogs.
And my good friend Andrea Carter was talking to Robinson about what she looks for when she goes to block a shot. And she said as soon as the ball leaves the shooter's hands, she is up in the air ready to block the shot.
Yeah, she not only told her, she showed her. She slapped back one of Andrea's shots. Yeah. It was really interesting, though, to hear the, I guess, the process she goes through to block shots, the thought process. Good kick out. Shot clock at 5 now for Georgia. Baseline jumper is buried by Taja Cole. She did not play the first time these two teams met, and they lost to Alabama. She was very anxious to be a part of this game today.
And one thing, when you take away a point guard like Taja Cole, you not only take away your distributor, you take away a leader, you take away a vocal leader, but you also take away somebody who can make shots like that.
Wade and both teams having success shooting the basketball. Again, they both come in with momentum after emotional wins on Thursday. Oh, nice pass. And an easy layup for Robinson as Cole threaded the needle.
Taja Cole, she's the best in the league at it, having about 7 assists per game, and that's one of them.
Contact. That foul's on Maya Caldwell.
And we can see the vision of Taja Cole finding Robinson down low. She keeps the ball for as long as she needs to be able to make that pass and have the precision that she has on those passes.
Blair, Georgia hasn't missed a shot. 8 points, 4 field goals, 4 for 4. Johnson's at the free throw line. The junior from Mobile, Alabama, gets the roll. Johnson, the leading scorer and assist maker on this team. She was the National Junior College Player of the Year last year, averaged 22 points per game in junior college, and has made an immediate impact here in Tuscaloosa. Eight to 6, Georgia hasn't missed a shot. 4 of 4 shooting. The passing of the Lady Bulldogs has been phenomenal, Blair.
And part of the fact that Georgia hasn't missed a shot is because they're getting quality shots. Georgia is being patient. They're sharing the ball. Almost every person on the floor is touching the ball before a shot goes up. And
in their last game, all 5 starters scored in double figures. Alabama had 4 players in double figures as well on Thursday. Ball's going to stay with Alabama. Connolly knocked it out of bounds. Good drive by Wade. She goes by Shaq. She's one of the seniors being honored tonight in her final home game.
And she's one of the players that Coach Christy Curry has been looking to her senior year to do a little bit more. She's had a little bit more on her shoulders ever since they lost their point guard earlier this year.
That was a 3-pointer buried by Caldwell to extend the Georgia lead. I mean, you can see how good this Georgia team is, Blair, when they're making shots. I mean, it's been lights out so far.
Well, one thing I love about Georgia is that they enjoy the success of their teammates, sharing the ball with their teammates.
Abrams, right down the middle of the lane.
And another thing we can look for from this Georgia Bulldog team is how fast they get the ball up the floor. Coach Christy Curry was talking about how they wanted to slow them down, especially Taja Cole, and prevent those transition buckets. And so far, Alabama hasn't stopped their flow down the court.
Shot clock at 6. That's the first missed shot by Georgia. It's a 3-point Lady Bulldog lead here in the opening quarter. Georgia trying to go to 8 and 6 in the SEC. Good look inside. Copeland has it blocked by Robinson. Morrison. Did you ever have a shot blocked by Robinson, Blair?
You know, I think I knew better than to release it. I would just pass it up and save myself the misery.
Walker. And contact on the rebound. That's been an offensive start for both teams. That foul is on Copeland. We'll be back in a moment.
But these teams need to make a run in the SEC tournament. They need to establish themselves past just the regular season in the SEC.
I feel like Georgia is one of the hottest teams in the conference right now. They've won their last 2. These 2 teams met at the end of January. Georgia was 4 of 10 in the first quarter shooting. Today they're 6 of 8. It's Robinson with some range. Good move by Wade, but she got stopped. Cole. The alley-oop up to Robinson.
And that's something that you cannot guard. When you have Taja Cole delivering the ball up to Robinson and she can jump that high, you cannot defend that.
The Lady Bulldogs just seem so in sync offensively to start this game, Blair.
Well, and it's not just starting off games. Talking to Coach Lang, she said that her team understands their roles. No one tries to go outside of what they know they have to do. And so that's when you have a team that gels like Georgia's gelling right now. They have this smoothness about them. You have a leader in Taja Cole, and you have Robinson as a leader down low in the paint. There's just so much coming together right now for Georgia.
It was Shaq Wade that made the 3 on the other end for Alabama. Connolly, quick release. And a chance for Alabama to tie or take the lead. Johnson against two defenders puts it in.
I talked about Cole having a quick first step, but Sierra Johnson, her first step is extremely fast as well. But when you have Taja Cole with the speed that she delivers on defense and also the pressure that she delivers on defense, it's going to be a great matchup tonight versus Cole and Johnson.
Robinson, a three. Buried it from the top of the key. Robinson, a 6'3" senior, burying the three-pointer. That's her 11th of the season.
Robinson creates such a mismatch for whoever guards her. If you put a big on her, she'll stretch you out to the three-point line. But then if you guard her tight out at the three-point line, Robinson can dribble. She can get to the rim.
She's so versatile. She is off the court as well. A lot of off-court interests. Robinson showing her range, and a foul will give the ball back to Georgia. Let's go back to that three again.
You can see Robinson, she's ready to shoot. She has her hands ready, her feet ready, and she has confidence out there. That is something that when you have confidence in a bigger girl out there, you want that person on your team.
Foul was on Jasmine Walker. So Georgia leads it by 3 here in the closing couple of minutes of the opening quarter. Good look again. Paul got caught by the bottom of the backboard. Future looks bright for this Alabama program as well. They've got some players sitting out that'll make an impact next year. It's a very young team, the 11th youngest team in Division I basketball this year. Georgia's a young team as well. Good D. Copeland got her hand on it. Swatted it to Johnson. And a foul on the rebound. Christy Curry in her 6th season here. She's taken this program to 3 NITs, including advancing to the quarterfinals the past 2 seasons. She took Purdue to the national championship. She's coached her teams to 2 Sweet 16s and Elite 8. She was also at Texas Tech for 7 seasons. That's too easy. Nice play by Alabama to get Benjamin the basket.
Deja Benjamin, she's one of the best freshmen on this young Alabama team. She creates a bad mismatch as well. She's a bigger body as a guard, and she's able to use her size down low for her advantage. She
was the SEC Freshman of the Week already this year. Good battle for the rebound, and an offensive rebound by Paul, and she was followed going back up.
One thing that Georgia does is all 5 of Georgia's players go hard to the boards. You have to box out if you're Alabama. Every single body has to find another one if you want to have a chance to stay in this ball game.
That was on Copeland. Stephanie Paul's going to be at the free throw line, the finance major. Her nickname is the Haitian Sensation. Her parents are from Haiti. She actually grew up in Naples, Florida after the family moved to the United States, but she's the youngest of 9 brothers and sisters. Her dad's still involved in mission work in Haiti. Good offensive rebound that time by Hubbard. Johnson quickly. And again scores. Man, she's tough to stop.
If Sierra Johnson gets in the paint, it's game over. That is her zone.
Missed shot by Connolly, and Alabama now has the lead after that last bucket by Johnson. First time the Crimson Tide has led. Johnson keeping it herself. Final 10 seconds of the quarter. They catch a break and get it back. 3 seconds. Georgia's not going to get a shot off. Well, Georgia led most of the first quarter, but in the end, Alabama finished strong. And after the first quarter, it's Alabama leading Georgia 19-18 here. And she's having a good game. Look at that. Johnson Wade, 15 points of the 19 scored. And Wade is such a popular player here at Alabama, very engaging individual. We spent some time with her today after the shoot around. And a good teammate. She just cheers her teammates when she's on the court and off the court.
And it's so awesome to see Shakira Wade grow. I've played with her and against her since I played AAU with the Alabama Southern Stars, and she has just grown over the past 4 or 5 years in such a positive way.
The shot clock did not start, so they had to stop the game and take 3 seconds off of it. So instead of 30, it's at 27 now. Interesting to me, Blair, I felt like Georgia was pretty dominant for most of that quarter, and they ended up being down a point at the end of the first quarter and now turn it over on the first possession.
They started out hot. They were 6 for 6 at one point, and one thing Taja Cole needs to do for her team is if they get rattled and they get it and they turn it over, get her team back together. She's the point guard. She's the leader on the floor, and she's the one that they look to get themselves back settled.
Georgia averages 17 turnovers per game. Robinson left open again. In and out. She made a 3 earlier. Are you happy with Robinson taking the 3s out there, Blair? Is that a good shot for Georgia?
I think it's a great shot for Georgia. I mean, Alabama had a high hand, but they weren't close enough. They were 1 step off, and that's plenty of room for a good shot in the SEC.
And that is textbook denial defense by Connolly. Unfortunately, she could not finish, and Alabama survives it. 5 turnovers now for the Lady Bulldogs. Alabama looking to extend the lead. Another block by Robinson. Second block, make it 3rd. Good look inside, and Robinson finishes.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Georgia shares the ball, and most of the time they don't overshare the ball. They understand the timing, and their passes are so on point. They understand where their teammates need them and when they need them.
Yeah, Connolly had the assist on that Robinson bucket. Robinson now has 9 points. Wade, she's got a nice looking shot. Missed that one. No look pass to Robinson from Cole.
I cannot talk about the importance enough of having a big that runs the floor. When you have a big like Robinson who spins that energy and runs the floor as fast as they can, that is something that every team wants to have. Yes, you can have a big on the inside, but when they can run the floor and establish a presence on the inside, that's a double threat. And
people take notice as well. Robinson's on the was on the watch list for most of the major postseason awards in college basketball. Lob down low, and Copeland is fouled by Robinson. She wished she could have that back again. Well, the SEC Network has 2 fantastic gymnastic meets for you this Friday night. First, 13th ranked Kentucky and number 19 Missouri square off in Columbia at the Hearn Center. It's a special time of 6 Eastern, and then that'll be followed by number 11 Auburn and 9th ranked Alabama from right here in Coleman Coliseum. And there's Friday Night Heights. That's what it's called. It'll be streaming live on the ESPN app as well. In fact, you have to walk by the gymnastics office to get onto the floor here at the Coleman Coliseum. Popular sport in the SEC. Benjamin taking a seat. Copeland at the free throw line. Check that. That was Ashley Knight at the free throw line.
So now you're taking Ashley Knight off the floor. You're taking the size off the floor for Alabama. So now you're thinking about matching up equally with Georgia's big down low.
Allie Craig Cruz was the player brought in for Knight. Paul for 3, knocks it down. Her first bucket of the game. And Georgia has now built a 4-point lead after trailing by a point at the end of the quarter. Cruz setting the screen for Abrams. Stolen away. Cole with it. Stady. Cruz, another freshman, number 12 in white, hands it off to Wade. And a jump ball. Good D by 23 in red, Q Morrison.
Q Morrison, she is extremely athletic. She gets her hands on a lot of balls. She's a really, really good defender. And right here we see she grabs the ball and causes the jump off situation with her and Shakira Wade.
Wade looked like a running back breaking through the line there. That was impressive the way she entered the lane. Shot clock is at 5. Johnson launches. Oh!
And looking at her face, she had all the confidence in the world in that shot.
That was a beautiful shot, and it injects some momentum into the Crimson Tide. Cole trying to answer. Cole, a lefty. There are 3 lefties on this Georgia team. Good look inside to Stady. And Stady doesn't finish. Alabama can retake the lead. Cross court pass to Wade. And that explosive first step got her the advantage for the layup.
And that's a really good momentum booster for Alabama and Shakira Wade. Wade needs these moments of confidence for her. She's so athletic. She can get to any spot on the floor when she wants to. But she has to believe in herself. That's the first step.
Cruz with the foul. 5 unanswered points by Alabama to have this 1-point lead. First foul on Allie Craig Cruz. She goes by AC. And Stephanie Paul will go to the free throw line again. She shot a couple of free throws earlier in the game. Barry, one of the 2 seniors, checking into the game. Again, Barry was given a scholarship at the start of the year. She was a walk-on onto this team. Chemical engineering major. Just received her degree. Paul drains that free throw as well, and Georgia stays in front. 27-26 is Robinson back in the game.
So now look at Georgia's front line. You have Robinson and you have Stady. 2 shot blockers, 2 bigs that can shoot it from the 3. If I'm Alabama, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to guard the 3-point line and keep them from getting in the paint.
Steal from underneath by Cole, and then Cruz got her hand on it. Alabama survives. Johnson attacks the paint and draws the foul. Fouls on Taja Cole. Plenty of action here in Tuscaloosa as both teams
did that again. I'm not sure if she could make that shot after about 40 touches with the basketball on her feet.
We got very lucky. She is a freshman, so we'll have to get her to do it all 4 years now. See if she can back it up. Her teammate Sierra Johnson's at the free throw line now, tying the score at 27. Johnson's a 74% free throw shooter this year. She's majoring in criminal justice with a minor in cyber criminology. That is fascinating to me. Sierra Johnson. 3 on the way. Good. By number 2 in red, Gabby Connolly.
Gabby Connolly is not someone you want to leave open from the 3-point line. She shoots 38%. That's an outstanding percentage from the 3-point line.
She grew up in a military family. Mom was a colonel. Shot clock under 10 again. Wade attacks the rim. No basket, offensive foul. And a reminder to come back on Wednesday night for a men's college basketball doubleheader here on the SEC Network. 5th-ranked Tennessee takes on Ole Miss in Oxford. And the Vols lost yesterday at LSU in overtime. But as always, you can watch the game on the ESPN app. So see if Tennessee can bounce back against Ole Miss. Stady took a step. Stady is 6'6", but she shoots 45% from 3 and shoot around today. Now I know enough, Blair, to know that you can't tell how a team's going to play based on shoot around. But I saw her out of about 20 attempts miss 1 3-pointer in shoot around today. She's got a smooth stroke from the outside. And Stady reaches up and rips that rebound down. There's the 3. Oh, off the back of the rim. Wade creates a shot, but it doesn't go in. Pace has really picked up the last few possessions, Blair.
Both teams are trying to get the ball down the floor as fast as they can so they don't have to deal with a half-court defense. When you can score in transition, it only helps your momentum get better and better and higher and higher. And it gets you to the paint where those higher percentage shots are found.
That was interesting. They had to slow down because Robinson had to tie her shoe. Entry pass is swatted away. Benjamin left open. Conley lets it go. It'll be Georgia basketball.
And a few possessions ago, we saw Shakira Wade use her athleticism and get to the rim, but Gabby Connolly showing her hands and getting the offensive foul on Shakira Wade. Really good job of showing your hands on defense.
For someone watching that may not be familiar with that term, Blair, what does showing your hands mean?
Basically, you're not having either hand on the offensive person's body. If you do that, it's an automatic hand check foul. Especially if you have both hands on their body, automatic foul. But she was showing the referees, hey, I'm not trying to go into her. The offensive player's going into me.
Good explanation. Alabama trailing by 3. As these two teams have been very close throughout this game. Both teams desperately trying to win. Georgia trying to make a case to make the NCAA tournament. Alabama trying to play its way out of the bottom of the SEC. Turnover. It'll be Georgia ball.
Another thing that Coach Christy Curry was talking about this morning was they wanted to mix up the defenses to go against Georgia. They wanted to keep Georgia on their toes, whether it be in a full court press or half-court zone or half-court man. They never wanted to stay the same, so Georgia had to be ready to switch up their offensive sets.
Cruz defending Connolly. .140 left to play in the half. Connolly, short. Three on the way. That's missed as well. Cole will push it. And a nice hesitation and explosion as Cole makes the layup and extends the lead to 5.
And that is the
Blairs.
And I'm so excited
in
to
honor
share.
of the Academy Awards tonight, we came up with our very own awards ceremony and named it after my partner, Blair Schaefer. The Blairs.
I'm honored.
You should be. Don't miss it. Nice entry pass. Oh, good hands by Robinson. Looked like a sure layup. Under a minute to play in the half. Robinson. Another long jumper. This is a 2. But Robinson showing range in this game. She's in double figures.
Robinson's also showing how diverse she can be. She sized her up, had her feet ready. She can shoot, she can drive from the position that she was in, and she had the confidence to make that mid-range jumper.
Wade short. Good hustle by Cruz, but it's Cole who comes out of there with it. Final seconds of the opening half. Georgia's going to hold it for one more shot. Robinson misses. Alabama will have a chance. Wade misses the bank. Well, a very entertaining opening half as Georgia started strong and finished strong behind Kalia Robinson to get her involved as well. Number 40, Walker, is a pretty dominant post performer. Big 40 is what they call her. She transferred from Florida State and has averaged almost 14 points per game this year, and she has not scored.
And she's just a sophomore. So maybe sometimes when you're younger, you don't understand when you need to step up for your team, but she's more than just a sophomore for this Alabama team. She's a shooter. She can create a bad mismatch on the inside. She can do a lot of things for Alabama. She needs to get engaged if they want to win this game today.
Good start for the Tide. They force a turnover on the opening possession. Reverse layup and a hack on the arm. That was on Robinson. You know, getting back to the Joni Taylor story as well, when we were talking with Coach Lang today, she said that they were going to FaceTime with Coach Taylor a little bit before the game and maybe just then at halftime to kind of keep her in the loop as to what is going on with the team.
And Coach Lang talked about them having one voice, but she also said she asked Coach Joni Taylor if she wanted to be a part of the pregame talk, and she said absolutely. So they were going to FaceTime her, put her on FaceTime in the locker room in case she had some thoughts. That is a true team, in my opinion.
It's a long pass. Connolly was able to track down. Risky pass, but Georgia gets away with it. Georgia was so good with their ball movement in the first half, especially to start the game. Cole with a little opening there. Got hit on the arm by Wade.
And that's one thing you don't want to do. You don't want to foul a jump shooter, especially Taja Cole. She's so creative on the offensive end, and she can get to her spot at any time.
First foul on Wade. It's going to send Cole to the free throw line. She transferred from Louisville originally. Leads the SEC in assists. Well, Georgia definitely trying to finish the season strong. LSU and Missouri now, along with Tennessee, all losing today. So that's better news for Georgia if they could pick up this road win. And as you mentioned, finish strong. A win against Florida would certainly help. And then they play Kentucky on senior night to end the regular season. And with a conference this strong, it would be a really tough argument to leave them out of the field of 64 if they finish over 500 in league play.
And there's so many things that go into finishing strong. It's all about doing the little things for Georgia, whether it be team chemistry, passing the ball, sharing the ball, making great decisions. This time of year, every team in the SEC is tired. They're fatigued. But how you separate yourself is how you finish. Who is the strongest mentally and physically?
Johnson just picked up her second foul. It'll be Georgia's ball on the baseline. Nice play, and Robinson adds to her scoring total.
Another thing that helps Georgia get open is the fact that they look passes off. They might look one way, but they'll pass the other. And so this Alabama defense is reading the facial expressions instead of watching where the ball's going.
Copeland, she scored on the last possession. And Robinson rips it away from Walker. Robinson open for three. And good hustle by Cole to run it down.
It doesn't even look like Taja Cole is sweating. And she's playing so hard.
She's all over the floor. I mean, she is covering a lot of ground out there. Nice pass inside. Layup is missed, but Robinson cleans it up.
And leave it up to Robinson, someone who watches the ball consistently, whether it goes in or not, to get the offensive board and the putback.
Robinson is close to breaking Georgia's all-time record for career blocks. She's one of the best defensive players in the country. There's Walker. Walker missing, though. Again, Walker averages about 14 a game and has not scored for Alabama. And there's Cole creating more action. And picking up a foul on the way to the bucket. Coach Lang grew up in Raleigh, North Carolina, and went to Iowa for college, was part of a Final Four team, and came with Joni Taylor to Georgia as part of the first staff brought to the University of Georgia. And when Coach Taylor had her first baby, she was on the bench, and now resuming that role as the head coach while Coach Taylor's out with her second child. She was very hands-on in practice today. I enjoyed watching Georgia's shoot-around. It was an hour-and-a-half shoot-around, and Coach Lang was very active in the way she coaches. Cole. It'll be Alabama's ball.
If I'm Alabama right now, I'm thinking we need a shot. We're down 8 points. We're still in this ball game, but we need to get some momentum. So if I'm looking for that high percentage shot, I'm going to go inside. You have Ashley Knight, who just checked back into the game. You're adding some size, and she has good fundamental footwork down low.
Knight is 6'5", a junior. She had 7 blocks in the game earlier this year. Robinson is guarding her. Knight asking for help, and Robinson swats it right out of her hand. Knight brought that ball down to stomach level, and Robinson's hands were right there to swat it away, and the shot clock is at 4 right now. Abrams having trouble getting it in. Lob to Knight, and Alabama gets it back. The Tide catching a break there.
One thing Georgia's doing right now, they're playing 5 people on defense. It's not 5-on-4, 4-on-3. All 5 are involved. They're having help side. They're coming inside the paint, preventing Alabama from getting all the way to the rim. Excellent job by Georgia on the defensive end.
Foul was on Knight against Robinson. Good sportsmanship as well, as Knight held her hand down and helped Robinson up. Cruz back in the game for the Tide. She was the player that electrified the shoot-around today. Juggling the ball with her head and legs, and then draining that long-distance jumper. I think that's worthy of a SportsCenter top 10 consideration.
I'm voting for it. Does that count?
That was miraculous. Well, I mean, you have your own awards category. So your whole show based on what you think. So maybe we should create something for Cruz now. Most dramatic performance? Or...
multifaceted player, maybe?
Yeah. It's just cool. Abrams fouled by Cole.
One thing Taja Cole could have done instead of fouling the shooter was making them take a tough shot. Alabama was off balance. Megan Abrams was out of control getting to the rim. Taja Cole could have just kept her hand straight up and forced Abrams to make a crazy shot.
Second foul on Cole. Abrams has only missed 4 free throws. That was her 5th of the season that she's missed. A reminder, coming up on Tuesday night, men's doubleheader. Missouri and Mississippi State at 7 Eastern, and then Kentucky and Arkansas following. Both games are also on the ESPN app. Abrams makes 1 of 2, a rare miss on that first free throw. Georgia leads by 7 here in the 3rd quarter. Kentucky is one of the hottest teams in the country on the men's side. See if they can keep that run going into March Madness. Oh, foul as Connolly tried to get loose. Foul was on Johnson, and that's her second. Excuse me, 3rd foul on Johnson. So Connolly's going to go to the free throw line. A 90% free throw shooter in SEC games.
Connolly's athleticism is so hard to stop. I mean, I talked about the quickness in Johnson and Cole, but Connolly's another player that has a motor just like Taja Cole. She never stops. She sprints from sideline to sideline on defense. If there's a ball going out of bounds, she hustles all the way until it's a dead ball.
Robinson, a good steal. Connolly flips it back to Cole. Ball with a rebound, and Georgia resets.
Second chance points have been huge for Georgia tonight. They have all 5 guards going to the boards, trying to get those second chance opportunities.
Robinson with an offensive rebound. Georgia's had 2 offensive rebounds here on this end. And a third chance to run the offense. Connolly looking for a screen. Leaves Robinson open for 3. In and out. She made 1 earlier. And a good steal by Johnson.
Really good contest by Connolly.
Cole underhands it. Morrison misses. Morrison got hit. No call. Morrison coming off a surgery that she had in November, missed the first 8 games of the season. That really hurt Georgia's RPI because they were not a full strength team in the first 8 games of the season. Connolly gets the steal, the layup, and Alabama wants to talk about it. So Georgia has its largest lead of the game, a 10-point advantage for the Lady Dogs, 42-30. It is just a joy to be around her.
And making the all-freshman team is not easy. Let's just say the leap from high school to SEC Division I basketball is a huge gap. And the fact that she was able to recover from all of the things that she was going through and to push through and make that SEC all-freshman team, that's huge. And that's a huge testament to her hard work and the heart that she has.
Robinson has her 28th double-double of her career in this game. And Georgia with a 10-point lead.
Both teams giving each other a piece of their own medicine, getting offensive rebounds and trying to get those second chance points.
Bama is now 1 of 13 since midway through the second quarter. Robinson had bodies to avoid while she was up in the air. She looked at her teammate Paul and said, "What are you doing?" And Bama scores. Copeland lays it in.
And Copeland is someone from Alabama that needs to get going right now. She can use this as momentum for her offensively and start going at Kalia Robinson and see if she can get something positively going for this Alabama team.
Copeland's just a sophomore. Again, Alabama's the 11th youngest team in the nation. There's one of the few seniors getting the steal. Barry in her final game here in Coleman Coliseum. Copeland, and Georgia having trouble stopping Copeland right now.
Copeland's release is so quick. When she catches the ball down low, she knows where she's at. Her awareness on the court is excellent, and she was able to lay it off the glass for another easy 2.
She has single-handedly reduced the Georgia lead to 6. Robinson hits the side of the backboard, and Copeland gets the rebound. Cole with a foul. So Alabama is trying to end the third quarter strong. The Crimson Tide making Coach Curry pretty happy right now.
Well, it would work out if my mom joined my dad's staff. I think she's doing the best job where she's at right now.
I won't go any further. But all of those 3 couples that we showed, their relationships are so strong and they're so fun to be around. I know Susan Krecklow, for example, Wayne Krecklow's wife, head coach at University of Missouri volleyball. She was a fantastic athlete as well. This is Johnson at the free throw line. Makes that one. She's got 13 points now. And it is just a 5-point lead for Georgia. The 10-point lead has been cut in half here throughout this third quarter. Caitlin Hose, number 10 in red, is into the game for the first time for Georgia. And Robinson adds to her points and pads the lead back up to 7. Robinson now with 19 points. Copeland had a brief opening for a shot, didn't take it. Steal, good hands by Connolly. And Robinson has it knocked away by Barry, and Barry got a little bit of Robinson's body as well, and will get called for the foul.
And you can hear the Alabama fans and how they feel about the call. Here you see Robinson go up, but Barry got her on the arm as she was going up for the shot.
Robinson, one of the best shot blockers in Georgia history, almost had her shot blocked, but Barry got called for the foul. Robinson on the Naismith National Defensive Player of the Year watch list. She was on the Wooden Award watch list. On the list for the nation's top power forward, an ESPNW top 25 player. And she's lived up to the hype in this game. It's been fun to watch her play. She's really been coming on strong in the last 6 games.
And talking with Coach Lang from Georgia, she was saying that she exudes her leadership, not vocally, but just how she plays the game. She's so poised, and the way that she carries herself not only goes a long way for her, but for her teammates.
Karen Ling just watched Caitlin Hose commit her first foul. That's Caitlin there to the left and 10 in red. There's a talented freshman. She's from Hazel Green, Alabama. Couldn't wait to say that.
Hazel Green. I wonder what color her eyes are.
Look at us. Come on. Glance over here. Well, we gave a good effort. Thank you, Bob Whitelaw and Brian Yoakum. So producer and director. Always working hard in there. Hose with the basketball. Robinson. Nice shot. She just looks so confident as well, bro.
And Araya Copeland from Alabama, she was in her face, but what makes Robinson so dangerous is her ability to elevate over her defender. No one can reach her shot because she jumps over anyone that guards her.
She's fearless, and she's a leader. You can see right now doing a little coaching out on the floor. That was the 4th foul on Wade. That would not be good for Alabama for her to be out of the game. And Wade may be about to exit the game. Ready to come in as an Alabama player. Deja Benjamin. Morrison makes the free throw, and Benjamin does replace Wade, who leaves the game with 4 fouls here in the closing seconds of the 3rd quarter.
So now that Shakira Wade is in foul trouble, you take a senior off the floor who's done so much for her team vocally, and her presence is known every time she's on the floor. So now this Alabama team is going to have to step up without her presence.
Morrison made both free throws. She's another high character woman on this Georgia team who's overcome surgery this year. Practice is very limited because of the swelling in her knee, but is always ready for the games. Pretty remarkable the way she competes after that surgery. 1.7 seconds on the clock, and the foul was drawn by Johnson.
We can see that Sierra Johnson being aggressive, and Georgia just bailing her out at the last minute with 1.7 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter.
Q Morrison committed the foul. Johnson coming off a 25-point performance against Vanderbilt Thursday. She's been in double figures in 20 of her last 24 games. And adds to that total and reduces the lead to 9. That's 16 points. Robinson heaves it. No good. Well, Kalia Robinson has stepped up in this game. 22 points and 10 rebounds, 10 of 17 shooting. Stephanie Paul, a finance major at Georgia, Again, the Haitian sensation. Her parents grew up in Haiti. She grew up in Naples with her family after they came to the United States. There's a lot of talent between these two teams that has nothing to do with basketball. We're in the fourth quarter. Georgia trying to continue to build a resume to be considered for the NCAA tournament. And Barry's asking what the call was. She had the ball when the whistle blew.
So Alabama going into a zone right now. If I'm Georgia, I'm penetrating that zone and I'm finding the open person on the backside.
See if they can do it. Paul's open in the lane.
Taja Cole, she's so good at finding her teammates, being that assist player, and enjoying the success of sharing the ball. She's able to find Paul after she attacked the zone. She drew in 2 defensive players and found the open person for a great shot.
Cole has 7 assists in this game. Shot clock down to 5. Benjamin forces it up and in.
Tough shot from Benjamin, but she's able to use her body and get past that defender and just use a little bit of momentum to get closer to the rim.
Guess what sport Benjamin was competitive in? Bowling.
Bowling.
She was a competitive bowler. Her average was 280. Whistle, and on the dead ball, a chance to remind you that we've got a great men's college basketball game this Wednesday night on the SEC Network, 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Tennessee trying to get over a couple of losses. The men will take on Ole Miss at the Pavilion in Oxford. The Vols, of course, lost yesterday at LSU in overtime. As always, you can watch the game on the ESPN app as well. Wade with 4 fouls leading the break. Misses, and Robinson knocks it out of bounds. Alabama will keep it. A lot of point scores in that Tennessee-Ole Miss game coming up later this week. And we had a foul before the ball could be thrown in. Connolly got called for holding. It's just her first.
But that's one thing Georgia doesn't want to happen, is to get Taja Cole and Connolly in foul trouble. They had to deal with that situation in the last game. Both of them had 4 fouls. So then you're talking about both of your players who bring the pressure on defense having to be a little bit more timid.
Nice pass. Alabama keeps it. 8 minutes to play in regulation. Robinson almost had a steal. And that ended up being a pass to Copeland. Though it was a shot attempt by Walker, but Copeland ready for it.
I've been there. Sometimes the best passes are
well,
just a
who
shot.
Are you?
It's a little
Which role did you play in that? Were you the person?
Sometimes I wanted to get my teammates involved, and I just missed on accident. You know, it just happens sometimes.
Robinson, she'll shoot. Johnson quick. Oh, Wade's open and buries it.
Sierra Johnson had options, and she could either dish it off to Copeland on the inside, but she'd find Shakira Wade on the perimeter for the 3.
The senior lead, Blair, that after the losses we've seen today by Tennessee, LSU, Missouri, and what could be a 3-game win streak by Georgia, that Georgia's got to start getting some consideration. I feel like the RPI in Georgia's case may be a little skewed because of the way the season started. They had injuries. They did not have their team during that non-conference portion of the schedule when they lost some games that I really feel like they would have won if everybody was at full strength.
And I truly believe that the committee that puts together the brackets, they take in consideration, they look at everything, whether they have injured players or just everything that goes on. I fully feel like they are going to sit back and look at all this and then take into account how hard the SEC is.
Here's a look at Charlie Cream, what he has in from the SEC. You don't see Georgia on there. Tennessee, LSU, and Missouri all lost today. Georgia still with a very realistic chance of finishing the regular season above 500, depending on what happens today here on the road. But Wade is desperately trying to win this game for her team. That foul was on Cole, by the way, and that was her 4th. So she's gone to the Georgia bench, and Donetta Johnson's replaced her.
So now you're talking about Taja Cole being a senior leader now on the bench and a freshman coming in trying to replace those minutes. That's going to be very difficult for Georgia to do. So now you leave it up to Connolly to run not only the point position, but have to do her duties as the 2 guard as well.
Alabama has scored 9 unanswered points and can tie or take the lead here. Foul on Connolly.
And I just read the lips of Coach Lang from Georgia saying, stop fouling. We're giving in to what Alabama wants us to do. That's how they're able to put points on the board. They're getting to the line. Sierra Johnson, she's 7 for 10 right now. That's where most of her points are coming from because she's being aggressive.
Alabama will inbound this one after that foul. Fortunately for Georgia, it wasn't in the act of shooting. Wade, nice one-on-one move. We're tied. 4th quarter, 6 minutes to play. Georgia has gone over 3 minutes without scoring. Johnson throws it up. And run down by Georgia's Johnson. Every time Alabama has made a run like this, Georgia has composed itself and responded. But the game is on the line now here in the 4th quarter. Morrison passed up a 3. And she'll take the 2.
Good answer by Georgia. Q Morrison getting to the rim. That's where you want to get to. You want to get those shots where you know it's going to go in. And if you can get a layup in the SEC, that's a great shot.
Wade has scored the last 7 Alabama points. Let's see how quickly they can get it to her here. Wade finally misses. Georgia with a 2-point lead. 3-pointer is missed by Johnson. And we've got a player down for Alabama. Number 24, Deja Benjamin, went down while that shot was being taken by Johnson. 5 left to play in regulation. Alabama will have the basketball. Coach Curry was very positive about her team today as they finish up this season, and especially with what the future holds for this program, in her opinion. And Walker just has not been able to get on track today.
And her junior, excuse me, Sierra Johnson looked at her and said, it's okay. We can get this. We need to get it back together.
Wade did the same thing.
And that's what you got to have. You got to have a next one mentality.
Georgia's Johnson, number 1 in red. Came in to replace Cole. Here's Connolly wide open down the lane, and Georgia extends the lead to 4. 10 points for Connolly. Georgia trying to hang on and win on the road at Alabama, a team that beat them in the end of January. Wade misses. Robinson with a rebound.
Georgia's focusing on getting stops and scores right now.
Morrison was wide open. She had a clear lane to the basket and took advantage of it. And Q Morrison scores 6 points and pushes the Georgia lead. But Georgia's responded every time Alabama became a serious threat. Georgia's trying to break out of a pack of teams in the middle of the SEC. And I guess You kind of indicated earlier, Blair, you feel like this is a must-win for Georgia to continue to at least be in the conversation to make the tournament.
I truly believe that. I feel like Georgia has to finish out these last 3 games if they even want to put themselves in the conversation, and that's not even counting the SEC tournament. They need to go on a run in the SEC tournament as well, but right now it's about toughness. Not just mental toughness, physical toughness.
Copeland brings Alabama to within 4. Connolly misses the layup. Wade. Oh, nice move.
Leave it up to the senior to make big plays in a game like tonight. Alabama down 2, but Shakira Wade using her confidence to keep her team in it.
18 points for Wade, a 2-point advantage. 2.5 minutes left. Alabama can tie or take the lead. Johnson gets her own miss. Ties the score and 1.
And this is a huge momentum play for Alabama, with the leader like Sierra Johnson going at it, missing the first one, but getting her own rebound, getting a second try, splitting the Georgia defense for the and 1 opportunity.
And the team fired up. Johnson with 18 points. Her 19th would give Alabama the lead, and does. The Crimson Tide has taken the lead with 2:20 left.
Now Georgia has junior Taja Cole back in the game. I say senior because she acts like a senior leader.
Cole with 4 fouls, 0 in red with the basketball. Connolly, nice one-on-one move. And Georgia retakes the lead. Final 2 minutes. Wade passes up the 3, weaves her way to the basket, gets her own rebound. Connolly has the tough defensive assignment on Wade right now. 23 in white. And a whistle. Connolly a little too close to Wade. And the foul is going to go actually against Robinson. And that is her 3rd. Let's see.
So Connolly showing her hands eventually. Both hands are up, but then Robinson commits the foul.
So Robinson came in and got her on the arm. Wade hasn't missed a free throw. That's her first.
I'm not even going to say anything. Just know
it's
I looked at Sam very hard.
I've jinxed players today. I must feel bad. Wade to tie, and does. 19 points. We're tied at 59. 1:20 left in the 4th quarter. Cole misses.
So right now, if I'm Sierra Johnson, I'm thinking, hey, I have Taja Cole on me. She has 4 fouls. Think about how timid she's probably playing on defense because she doesn't want to foul out in this last minute.
Under a minute in regulation. Shot clock at 10 on this possession. Johnson hesitates. Lost control of the ball and turns it over to Georgia.
One thing Georgia's doing a really good job at right now is having a secondary line of defenders ready to help. Alabama's getting past the first person on defense, but then there's 3 people waiting in the paint. And it's a team effort right now for Georgia.
We are tied. 35 seconds left to play in regulation. Shot clock at 10. Shot clock at 3. Cole misses. A steal by Morrison. And then a foul by Johnson. A
Look at
flurry
the
of
effort.
activity.
Look at the effort by
One on the road to at least remain in the conversation for making the NCAA tournament. Karen Lang, 6-2 as a head coach when Joni Taylor can't be here, and you know Coach Taylor's on the edge of her seat right now. Cole takes it, misses the bank. Rebounded by Paul, and it's blocked out of bounds. Georgia will keep it. And Georgia takes a 30-second timeout with 6.2 seconds left.
And one of the coaches on the...
It'll be Cole trying to inbound it with Knight in her face. Knight is 6'5". Cole is 5'8". Lob up to Connolly. Connolly attacks. Misses. And we're going to overtime.
Leading assist player Taja Cole to where she can make a decision.
Timeout, Georgia. Alabama almost forced a 5-second call. That was like 4.99 seconds.
And that's exactly what Alabama wanted.
It'll be Cole trying to inbound it with Knight in her face. Knight is 6'5". Cole is 5'8". Lob up to Connolly. Connolly attacks. Misses. And we're going to overtime. Georgia 0-1 in overtime games this year. Alabama is 1-0. This area last night. Today's been a beautiful day outside. And a lot of fans coming to watch Senior Day. And boy, they have been rewarded. It is the first overtime period right now. Don't pay attention to the 4Q on your graphic there. That's mirroring what they have on the scoreboard here. But it is overtime. So subliminally, just put an OT there. Robinson shooting on the first possession and burying it. She did not score in the fourth quarter, Blair.
That shot is exactly what she needed. She needs to step up right now with 4.5 minutes left in overtime. There cannot go 2 or 3 possessions without Robinson touching the ball. She needs to be shooting. She needs to be on the inside getting those easy buckets for Georgia.
Well, just a fundamental mistake there. Copeland took her eye off the ball and turns it over to Georgia.
And right now in overtime positions for both teams, the little things matter. You can't have empty possessions. You can't have turnovers. Those are mental mistakes.
It was Tony Dungy, I heard say one time that games are very rarely won on dramatic plays, but by doing the right thing every single time down the court. Who is more consistent in executing the fundamentals? That hit the bottom of the backboard, so it's a turnover. Alabama will get it.
And Taja Cole was trying to get Q Morrison's attention this entire possession. She was trying to get the ball back in control so she could set up a play. But Morrison trying to get to the rim.
Conley playing Abrams tight. Walker, we're still waiting to break out. Maybe she'll have a good overtime period. Little contact. Copeland. And there's Walker.
Big time bucket for Walker. Second chance points has been huge all night long. Ryan Copeland misses the first one, but Walker is ready to get that rebound and the putback on the opposite side of the rim.
Walker has 4 points. She had 16 against Vanderbilt on Thursday and misses that free throw. We're tied at 61. The foul, by the way, was on Kalia Robinson, and that was her 4th.
So now you have 2 of your top players in foul trouble with 4 fouls.
Wade has 4 for Alabama. Robinson 4 for Georgia. Cole also with 4 for Georgia. Nice move by Connolly to get the defender off of her. And a foul If that's on Wade, it's over. And Shaq Wade fouls out. A fantastic performance in her final game in Coleman Coliseum. Comes to an end with her 5th foul here with 2:55 left in overtime.
And that 5th foul is partially due to Stephanie Paul's effort on the boards. The energy that she possesses when she goes to the boards, it's so hard to box out and be in control of.
Robinson scores and is fouled. The foul was on Copeland.
Robinson, she's been tough all night long, trying to get her team through this game and have the best chance of entering the NCAA tournament.
3rd foul on Copeland. Robinson pushes the lead up to 3 for Georgia.
Sam, it seems like all night each team has responded. Someone makes a comeback and then the other team comes back with just as much momentum.
That's what I meant earlier when I said I think both teams can take positives from this game. I mean, I don't feel like either team would feel like they played poorly or gave this game away. It's just been good fundamental basketball, I feel like, for the most part, for the entire game. Very consistent game. 2 on the shot clock. Walker misses the jumper.
Good decision by Taja Cole to take the ball out and take your time on offense. You're up 3 points. Now you can use this time, get a little bit of time off the shot clock, and get a good quality shot.
That's a good point. The clock management now becomes important for Georgia, and Cole catches and shoots off the screen. Georgia leads by 5 in overtime. Johnson, one-on-one to the basket.
Taja Cole didn't want to put herself in a position to foul, so she just let Sierra Johnson get all the way to the rim.
Alabama in a zone now. Barry Tennant-White, one of the other seniors, has come into the game and replaced her classmate Wade.
And one way to beat a zone is to attack the gaps. Find the gaps if you're Georgia. Find the one open person.
And the shot clock was at 2 when Stephanie Paul laid it in.
Taja Cole has made great decisions all night long, understanding where her teammates are, but also the time that's left on the shot clock.
She just gets them good shots. Abrams, a blocking foul against Georgia. Getting back to Cole, she now has 10 assists. It's her 9th game this season with more than 8 assists.
And when you talk about assists, you don't get a lot of attention for that. It's an unselfish play that does so much for your team.
Abrams drains it. Freshman from Lafayette, Louisiana. She was a McDonald's All-American nominee last year. Puts them both in. And Alabama trails by 3. Cole blows by Abrams. 11 points for Cole to go along with her double-digit assists. Johnson. It is a 5-point advantage for Georgia and a foul on Abrams. Her first. And the 5th foul against Alabama. Connolly pads the lead. Connolly has 14 points, and Georgia now leads by 7 points with 32.4 seconds left in our first overtime. Georgia, how she's handling this situation, being at home with her 2 little girls. That might be where her husband, Justin, or Darius, excuse me, has come into play. Three from Abrams. No good. Morrison with a rebound. And right away, Alabama fouls. Abrams specifically. It'll be 2 free throws now for Q Morrison. And there's our first smile from Coach Lang. Morrison started all but 1 game last season as a freshman, but this year had the surgery to repair a torn meniscus in November and missed the first 8 games of this year. Is finally back to really being a major contributor on this Georgia team. Johnson leans in, scores, 16 seconds left. Georgia up by 7. And Robinson is fouled again by Abrams. Third foul on Abrams.
Sam, this is a 7-point game right now, but it has been close the entire night. Both teams have really competed tonight. They haven't laid down and quit at all. And that just shows the toughness of this league. You never know which team is going to come in and get the win.
29 points for Robinson. She scored 20 or more points now in 4 of her last 6 games. And Georgia is going to get a crucial road win here at Alabama. Morrison grabs the rebound and Alabama surrenders. What a game. And finally, Georgia can claim victory as the Lady Bulldogs come on the road and maintain their hopes of making the NCAA tournament as a Cinderella, a gate